We are more than a month into the partial government shutdown and DHS funding freeze. And on top of the very real threats of sleeper cell attacks here in America, everyday Americans are also feeling the pain of long lines at the airport. That's because TSA agents aren't being paid until the Democrats are done grandstanding. And Democratic Congressman Don Beyer might have just said the quiet part out loud. He told Axios, "We're making people hurt. The long lines, that can't make us very popular." Joining us now is progressive YouTuber Brian Tyler Cohen. Brian, great to see you. Thanks for coming on tonight. So do you think it's time that Democrats vote to fund DHS?
Well, interestingly, the Democrats have put forward legislation, standalone legislation, to fund TSA. I mean, that's what we're talking about right here. So Republicans have the opportunity to fund TSA if they want to, but it's Republicans who have backed away from this. So I want to make sure that people know that there is standalone legislation to make sure that TSA agents get paid, CISA agents get paid, so that cybersecurity folks who work in the government also get paid. The holdup here is that there are a few conditions that Democrats are looking for ICE agents to make sure that they abide by in order for those to be funded. And look, I think that's warranted considering this is an agency that can't stop killing people on the streets of America. We saw it with Alex Petty, we saw it with Renee Good. And so I think having a few conditions like prohibiting ICE agents from wearing masks like no other law enforcement agent in this country does, and requiring them to display their IDs are completely reasonable.
Let's take a look at some of the concessions that the White House is willing to discuss with Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill to get DHS funded in the ways that matter. First of all, ICE is funded and through 2029. That happened through the big, beautiful bill last summer. So this fight in keeping the government shut down, not paying TSA agents, not paying others in the government has nothing to do with that kind of funding. ICE is still funded. But in a letter to the White House, or from the White House to Senator Collins and Senator Britt this week, they have concessions about using expanded use of DHS body cameras, showing ID, as you just talked about, adhering to law and new oversight of detention facilities. There's a whole list of things they're willing to do to open up the government, and yet now you have TSA warning that airports may have to be shut down because Democrats continue to say, well, it's okay, while also admitting they're hurting people. Do you think this has any chance of backfiring on Democrats who have repeatedly voted not to open the government?
I'm curious if you support the standalone legislation to fund TSA then.
I think that they have to support the entirety of opening the government, including the Coast Guard and others who are working without a paycheck.
But we're talking about TSA, so why wouldn't you support standalone legislation to fund TSA?
I'm happy to talk about other aspects of DHS as well, and everybody who's working for free right now.
I mean, it's an easy question.
It's an easy question. I do not. I support paying all federal workers who are working. I don't support paying only a few of them. And
so you don't support the standalone legislation. So you don't support the standalone legislation that would get TSA agents paid immediately. I support opening the government for everybody who is working right now, and I support many of these concessions that the White House has said so that ICE can continue to do their jobs and remove very violent criminal aliens from our streets. Would you allow that to happen for ICE to continue to do their job so long as these concessions are made? I think if concessions are made, then yeah. I mean,
then
like you said,
the letter.
I mean, it's not my job to do so, but I also think that it's a little bit disingenuous here to claim that Democrats are causing some big problem with TSA when they put forward standalone legislation to get TSA funded.
They're admitting that they're causing pain and long lines, but we got to go. Brian Tyler Cohen, we don't have as much time to stand in line tonight as they're standing at the airport, unfortunately. Thank you always for the debate. We'll continue the conversation soon. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Well, President Trump took action today to address rising gas prices during the war with Iran. Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler joins Katie Pavlich tonight to explain what the White House is doing to ease the burden on small businesses. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.